Primordial Radio.
Primordial Radio, here after a triumphant show from the amazing Bob Vylan. Guys, how do you feel after absolutely kicking the arse out of Lincolnshire Showground?
Yeah, I'm pretty knackered actually. Yeah. It was amazing.
It was amazing. It's a great show. It's like, right? Like,
yeah.
Especially because we just like released an album yesterday, and so we're doing new songs, you know, today. It's the first time we're doing some of them, so it's like, it's nice to do this fresh set.
Yeah.
You know, after playing some of the older stuff for quite a while, you know.
Yeah, that's always the way. You play the older stuff and you love it, and you know, you stand by it all, but then after a while it's like, it's the stuff.
Yeah.
Would you guys be offended if I called you the evolution of punk?
No. I think...
Good. I'm glad. I hope not.
I think it's an accurate description, probably.
Yeah, because punk is... It's a sound, yeah, but it's an attitude.
Some other people might be offended. Yeah, some other people might get offended.
I mean it in the best possible way. Like, punk is an attitude. It's like the whole telling it like it is, being honest and talking about real issues. You know, that's what punk came about in the 70s. And I think that's an accurate description, man. Like the aggression that you guys have on stage, it's real.
Yeah.
It's come from the same place. How do you summon that kind of the attitude when you go on stage? Because you can't spend your entire life like that. You'll burn out.
Nah, of course, and we don't. Like, we just took photos with and talked to with
I couldn't tell. Yeah,
hundreds of people, right? And like, we're not doing that through like gritted teeth and you know. We're happy to be doing this, but like, that doesn't take away from the fact that there are like problems and issues that we address via our music. And like, when we're on stage, you know, we're talking about things that are personal to us, and we're talking about like real life interactions with these issues and problems that we're facing and have faced, you know. So it's not really, I suppose, like a case of summoning the anger or the rage, because the rage is there when you think of those things. Do you know what I mean? Because like they're things that we should, as everybody should, be angry about, right? Like, like miscarriages of justice, like racial abuse, like whatever it is that kind of like is a ill of our society. Like, we should be angry at that. And so, you know, I suppose it just comes naturally on stage, do you know what I mean? But when we get off stage, we don't want to, you know, spend our whole life.
It's a lot of energy, but I'd say, like, if anything, it's just like, it's visually what it looks like when we're on a subject we're passionate about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's, like, it's not something that's summoned necessarily, it's something that's like, we care about, and it's easy to be really involved and get that way when you care about something, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what people are seeing. They're seeing passion.
Yeah.
Because even when we have conversations, like, if somebody was listening in, they might think we're arguing with each other. Because we're talking passionately. We completely agree on the subject, but, you know, there's passion. I think that's what people are seeing.
I think there's been a lot of that especially over the last 5-6 years, where it's been so polarizing in society. And the fact that it's like you are either this way or you are that way, and it's kind of there's no common ground, but then the poles seem so far apart. You know, when you're actually doing that, and it's refreshing to hear a musical artist going on stage and being so real about it. It's definitely something. But then the most real thing of all is the Northern Line. Oh my Christ.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah.
It really, especially when you're going past Leicester Square. Oh my word.
I mean, it could be rough if there's strikes going on.
Well, any tube line is rough in London, isn't it?
Especially if you're getting on that, doing the commute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So how have you dealt with the last couple of years? You know,
you're going to ask us, how did you deal with the Northern Line?
How did you deal with the issues of the Northern Line?
Yeah, well, I spoke to my friend.
How have you been over the last couple of years, you know, with COVID and all the crazy shit going on in the world?
All right, obviously wanted to get out and do shows and miss a lot of the interactions we would have had. But I mean, it's just given us time to to work on other things, work on ourselves, you know, to think a lot about situations and like how we feel about a lot of things, which is, you know, part of what helps us get to this point with the music. It's like a lot of pondering of things that we spent doing during lockdown, and now it's kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, because it informs a lot of the music. Do you know what I mean? Like the reasonings and like the conversations that we have, like between ourselves and like with our community and friends and family, like that sort of stuff informs a lot of the music. Do you know what I mean? And like our lived experiences, our personal experiences, like they come through in the music. And I suppose like what lockdown done for a lot of people, the positive side of that, I suppose, was like you kind of started to realise like how important family and community and friendships are. And so, you know, like where you were spending time talking with people about, you know, whatever. And like obviously 2020, when it was like kind of the height of the lockdown, we had like a year of protests and stuff like that, you know, and demonstrations. So I think it gave a lot of people time to reflect on like what is happening within like society in the UK, but also like, you know, globally as well, because we are seeing obviously those protests kind of like start in America and they then spread everywhere, worldwide, right? And I think COVID was one of the reasons why those protests were happening, because I think people slowed down enough to see that, oh, this is like there are injustices that are happening, even if it's something that like they personally don't face. It gave them time to kind of empathize and see that like, oh, okay, like, you know, these people or whatever it is, this community is valid in the way that they feel about these things. You know? But yeah, we've just been spending the time training and trying to stay healthy and trying to, you know, healthy physically, healthy mentally, and work on new music and stuff, which has resulted in this new album. And, you know, it's like, and now the floodgates have opened and we're back here. You know?
And we've got plenty of gigs to come up over the next few months as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Plenty in there.
Tour in May. And then quite like festivals.
A load of festivals.
Yeah, festivals kind of throughout.
You're going to
the summer,
get to like September and be totally festivaled out. They're like, oh.
You know what? That's a good problem.
Yeah.
To be going to so many festivals that we're sick of them. Yeah. Count me in for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like, you know, like our first kind of festival year was last year, and it was kind of half, like, you know, because a lot of festivals didn't come back in that year and stuff. So this year's like our first proper one, so it's great to like. I'm looking forward to
for sure.
finding myself sick of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this has been a nice chat to have. Thank you very much indeed, Bobby. Bobby, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Primordial Radio.